What did you just say?
I said your dream stinks.
He said it again. Come here.
What up, y'all? This is Jake with Team Snuggly Duckling, and we're here with some of our members with Tavern Talk, where we talk about some of the hot topics of Lurkana, some of the top tournaments that recently happened, and just a couple more extra topics that we like to discuss among the community and share some news. So we're going to dive right into this first major tournament that just happened over the weekend in the U.S. I don't know where it was. Do any of y'all know where it was exactly?
Somewhere in Texas. I can't remember. Somewhere.
Right, yeah. It's the HBMO Lorcana Championship, where there was a lot of surprises, in my opinion, on at least who got first in this tournament. And surprising me, must be skimming by some blue steals with a first finish with Steven, I'm probably going to butcher it, Mejia.
Mejia.
Mejia. Aggro purple steel. How do you guys feel about this? Like, how did he get first with this?
He went fast and it worked.
Yeah, I was like, going fast, and not only that, but being able to use that Benja to get rid of your early game items, I think so it probably got him over the line.
Yeah, I like the change of -1 Cobra, +1 Benja from the standard of the list. Usually it's 2-4. The 3-3 is better, I think.
I mean, those snakes and not snakes, but the snakes and the foxes allow you to re-abuse that Benja during the game also, which is pretty brutal to these major item decks that are going around right now, winning most of these tournaments, or at least top 8ing a lot of them. It's impressive. I can't believe that this guy did not play multiple blue steals. He had to have played multiple blue steals to get into first. So. Congrats to him.
He may have, but like with purple steel, it's unforgiving. Like if you have bad mulligans, purple steel can just jump on you.
Yeah, the two Maleficents also help a little bit with that. Just a tiny bit faster.
Picking it up with the snake 1-2. If they don't play a character like they use sail or something like that, then you just slap down a whole bunch of 1-drops. It's pretty fast, and it's got the draw. And it's got removal with strength, which most aggro decks don't really have too much removal, where, this aggro deck can really shine with dropping a lot of 1-drops and using that strength. I like it. It's a really neat list. I mean, I don't think that I was counting blue steel out, but did I see it winning a whole tournament? Not this early. I'm very impressed. Very impressed.
Yeah. There's definitely one card I was surprised to see a comeback with, and I've seen it in a couple of decks, but Genie.
Yeah.
Genie's been making a cut. He was dropped. I mean, he was completely dropped for red purple for a minute, and I didn't see him show up in many purple decks. So to see him make a comeback.
Genie survives, that's why.
Yep.
He's bad at red meta, but he's still meta.
Yeah, he is definitely, he's my favorite purple card, honestly, and my purple-green deck when I used to play back in last set. But let's see who he beat and how he probably, took advantage of this style of item deck with Oswald, where people are saying Oswald's the king. But if you can see that if they don't hit Bell on turn 1, their removal is very slow, like extremely slow. Not being able to cast a real spell until 3. I would assume that's probably why he lost. He didn't see the bell.
Hard mulligan into that. Yeah, I mean it looks that way, right?
I didn't catch the stream, but I'm just assuming.
Yeah, same.
Oswald missed, and Bell wasn't on turn 1.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The Queen 2 storms as well, and that probably is somewhat detrimental.
People are kind of laying around that number right now. Between 2 and 3, no more than 3 right now. I don't know what's the best call. I've been winning and losing nonstop with this deck, so it's a cycle. The only new card that I've seen that people were talking about recently is the Queen right there, the 3-drop Queen. It just puts another character on board that needs to be responded to immediately, kind of like Oswald, kind of like the Bell. It's a very decent card. I have not tested it. I think it's going to be a good direction of how this item deck will move. But what do you guys think about the Queen? You think it's gonna be here to stay?
I like it.
I like
it's-
it too. I've run into it quite a few times. I mean, I remember it a few sets ago. What was it? It was set 5 cards.
Set four, one.
Four.
Just said 4, yeah.
Yeah.
It was, and it was. I mean, wasn't that great then? Although there were a few people that were building with it. I mean, getting those items. I mean, that's the name of the game right now. You know what I mean? I mean, that's
Playing
the
a pop or playing a fishbone or any of those 3 or lower items for free. It's just another way to safely Oswald without having to waste resources. You aren't gaining the lore, but really the lore isn't the game with this. We can swing for 16, 17 in a swing with lore, so it's more of a setup deck. Like you have to prepare your swing to actually swing for game, and I think Queen does a great job at that.
I think it also doesn't die to like a Teeth and Ambitions or something right off the bat. It takes a little more oomph to take it out. So that one more health really helps it.
And it's not like it's new. Like the Queen has won before. We've
Yeah.
seen the DLC in Europe get won by the red-blue Queen deck. So it's shown its power before.
Yeah. Well, let's move into the top 4 range where we have a green steel discard deck. I think that this is top 2 deck in the format right now. It's probably very close to blue steel. There's not too many new cards, if any new cards, right? There's one
Gantu.
Gantu.
Yeah.
The Gantu's
That's it.
good. Some people aren't even playing him. I think this format discard is in a great spot to possibly take it all at one of these major events very soon. What do you guys think?
It's very good.
Chance plays it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
If
It's
Chance
ve-
plays it, it's going to take it this weekend.
yeah.
Oof.
It's very good. I think it's really good. It seems like they switched out a Pete for a Gantu, which I get. It just helps for that one more turn against things. Probably for the blue matchup, the
Yeah.
unusable portion of it hurts. They have quite a good amount of songs just to get, to help with the muses and everything, and of course Beast is also very good. They have a lot of one techs in here.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one
Bell,
smash.
smash, one hypnotize. In all, Bell helps discard, and so does Ursula. And so you're really thinking you're playing against other song decks, which obviously is a good call right now. And that's strong. That's real strong.
Yeah.
I'll say with red blue out of the meta, as it looks like this green steel could thrive, but the classic counter to green steel has been red blue, and I think it's still the case. But red blue is just hiding right now, so
Yeah, we can see how this is a little bit tech towards the blue steel too, with the removal of the hypnotizes for Lucifer and Anna to get
Yeah.
around Pete's.
I really think the card in here that most green steel aren't playing is the Heffalumps and Woozles. That card teching it in, stopping that Tomatoa from slapping that dime down that you can't really do anything against if you can't remove it, is really good. It's definitely stalling the blue steel more than a turn from
I didn't even think about that.
winning the
Yeah.
whole victory. Like that Heffalumps really probably shined in his matchups, and that's why I believe he probably hit top 4 with that being his tech card. Really stops the big crabs, the medium crabs, whatever all the crabs. So I think it's a really good tech. I think
Also-
that's
there's one card missing here. The green steel Pete is not here.
Yep.
That's
no
something
shift.
to talk about.
Yeah,
I was gonna
unnecessary.
put a Gantu over it.
yeah.
Playing
Yeah.
the Pete's.
The Heffalumps also helps with the Hiram.
Yeah.
Because if
True.
you're down that one turn, you can Heffalumps the Hiram so you can get your muses down the the next turn, so you can start getting the control down.
Absolutely.
With Heffalumps, it kind of acts as like almost like as a Lucifer against onboard heroes because they can't quest. They don't draw those 2 cards, right? So gives you more time to discard, maybe get their whole hand down.
Yeah, that's definitely I really like that card teched into this deck. But let's see the Cogsworth and friends who came fourth. This guy must have lost to the discard, I believe, or no, he probably lost to one of the top 2,
He would have
right?
lost the disc. He would have lost the Discord, huh? Oh no, you're right.
No, he would have
He'd have
lost.
lost the
Purple
either
Steel
purple
or-
steel
Steel.
or blue
The
steel.
purple field deck.
Yeah. No, the purple played discard, and then Oswald played Cogsworth and friends. So I think that's this played the item deck, and this is a very interesting version on this because it's playing a card that none of the other Kiwi birds, Cogsworth and friends, whatever you want to call it, Gleam. Yeah,
Basically running that over Tamatoa to make
Yep.
use of these extra items.
yeah.
Yep.
I think it's strong because if anything, this deck technically, I mean, not technically, but usually gets to about 14, 15 lore before something big could happen to it, or if they don't hit the Pete in the right position, or, stuff like that to protect their characters. And then ink it out with 2 gleams, or what is it? Glean?
Glean,
Yeah, it's
gleam.
like gathering
Glean.
knowledge, but
Yeah. Very odd tech, but I guess he didn't close a lot of games, and he was like, "I'm tired of this. I'm tired of not winning. I need 2 more lore." It's a good card.
No Hiram's kind of catching me off guard here.
Yeah. Well, he's popping them with the lore
calls
card.
and gleams.
Yeah.
Time for Hiram, you got Gleam.
Yeah. I like it. It's very interesting. It's definitely a different take on the deck. Gives it way more wheels. It's playing Sticky Mickey over the Mulan, or what is the other one? Simba, one drop. Yeah. That's odd because it seems like they wanna like actually keep the characters on board, because the one drop Mulan and Simba, let's face it, that thing lasts like a fart in the wind. It's gone like in a second typically. So Sticky Mickey will stick and not die. Making those strengths a lot stronger in this deck. But other than that, this is all pretty average Kiwi birds right here. Nothing too special about it, other than, the Gleam. All right, we can move on to the top 8, which would be the Popsicles. We have the item blue-red finally in the top 8. Jordan, you said it's dead, man. It's right here. It's right here.
Ring the bell. The fat lady's out. They're singing. Sharks jumping out of these decks.
They're cutting them to 3. I see that.
Cutting them more.
Cutting them 3, they're going to be cutting them more.
Yeah, I
Shark
don't
might be out.
practice with red blue at all, so I wouldn't know. But if I would play red blue, I think I want to play items, and this doesn't have any items like at all. It doesn't even have the new what is it called?
No, down here,
we
down
got it.
here.
I was
I
about
was
to say,
like, it does have
we're gonna scroll all the way down. This deck's humongous. All right, how many cards is this guy running? Is he at 60?
Yeah.
Gotta be, huh? Yeah.
It's 60. He has a lot
It's
of like
one and
2.
2-ofs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's 2 Sisu, 2 Maui, 2 Madam Medusa,
54,
2
yeah.
Tamatoa. There was 1
50
dime.
standing.
Yeah, 1 dime. Yep.
I already hate this deck. This dude's only running 1 Be Prepared.
He doesn't need it. He has 3 sharks.
Yeah, I mean, 4 Sisus and 4 coils is pretty good, and B prep might not be needed. And Pete can stop pretty much B preps these days, so they can't stop the Sisu.
If I'm not mistaken, this probably ran into the Alice deck, and there was a lot of things that got warded, and then Coil probably didn't work, and that's why they're there. He probably was only able to clear probably the Alices or something along those lines, and it just wasn't. It wasn't enough clearing later on in the game against any of the other things.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too much of a standard blue-red, because everyone's blue-red deck that they play nowadays is kind of just all over the place. Like, this guy's playing dragons, which most lists have cut the dragons because they need more space for, I don't know, ramp and popsicles and all the stuff, like everything. So I don't know, and well, he's running dime too. It's a very item list, but it's got a lot of songs and actions in it still.
Yeah.
For the Maui Shark, it looks like a solid split between the two, and maybe that's the call.
I mean, it's the only way that you're going to get any benefit from Maui Shark. But I do see Maui Shark dropping quickly in a lot of builds now. It's curious to see Maui Shark truly without Vitalosphere as well, just to get something, especially when you're only running one B prep or something along those lines. Like if you had to use it and now you can't get it back because someone else is clearing your Shark, that's a lot. I'm also surprised not to see any manners in this build.
Yeah. I love seeing that, honestly, as a blue steel player. I love seeing that.
He teched for seeing locations and possibly with a hideaway, obviously for items as well, and then just no manners there. It's just a little bit of a surprise. I am the most surprising thing though is the dragons. I really, you got 2 baby Tamatoas, 2 large Tamatoas. It wasn't a concern about retrieval. It looked like it was just going to wear down my opponent by removal, and then quest for the win. It's
just
a
trying
lot,
to dime it out.
Yeah, he had 2 pirates life.
Yeah,
I mean he did well, the top 8, but yeah.
All right, well, let's take a look at the last 3. I guess we could just kind of just cover them all because they're probably all pretty similar. We got
Slightly different.
another discard. Pretty standard. It's playing the new Pete, which most people are doing. What's that Clarabelle song? Isn't that like a pop an item and draw a card or something?
Just destroy.
No, we don't draw a
Just
card.
vanish.
Yeah, I wish you drew a card.
Stop letting them draw.
Yeah, I think it just looks standard. It looks like he kind of teched for red blue with the coves, which a lot of people are kind of dropping the coves. I know in the green steel deck, but I don't think that's a smart move because it helps into the blue steel matchups big time too. Yeah, it just looks standard. It looks like a standard green steel with some item removal. He's playing Platinum, which most steel decks, other than the item deck itself, are playing like a version of Platinum, Binja, or some type of item removal to deal with the item decks. So, anything y'all have to say about this deck that we're going to see probably 15 times at the 10K?
I think Benja is probably better than that bad Clarabelle song.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be the switch that I make here.
Yeah. Yeah, Benja is another body adding,
Another body, 2 lore quester.
More damage for strength, yeah.
Yep.
Sting strength also.
If you're gonna approach with destroying items, I don't believe that Clarabelle song is the way to go.
Yeah. All right, we can go into the next one, which was just an action. It has a lot of spice, supposedly. It's got some...
It's a John Cena location deck.
Holy moly.
It is.
Look at this deck. This is a deck here, guys.
This is not what I was expecting.
If you play John Silver, have 3 locations to play, and then Smee action it up, you can quest for 12, 16 in the turn.
I think this is what you destroyed me with in week 1, right?
No. I played a version of this last set.
Okay.
I played Beast OTK against you.
Yeah. So this is great. I love this. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it too.
It's a pirate deck. So the Shift Pete is pretty good. It's got 6 targets for it, which is pretty nice. Because you have the 1-drop Pete and then the Action Pete. The locations do great with John Silver.
Okay, yeah. I forgot this deck is slightly different. This is not the Smee deck. This is the 2 Pete with no actions destroyed item deck.
Yeah.
I was literally thinking that. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Yeah,
Just extra shift
it really does some work.
He has 13 actions for Diablo Shift, and there's not a single non-song action for Pete 1.
Yeah, 1-drop Pete does nothing. It's just a shift target.
But
Yeah, he's just a shift target.
I will say, looking at this, he probably wasn't worried about anybody's items. He just played his own game.
Well, I think he could make Blue Steel worried and target it to just blow it up for no reason and waste a strength or waste. People are like, oh, he's going to shift it. And, like, honestly, shifting Pete on, what, 3 or 4? When can he shift?
Four.
I mean, you probably want to do bigger things than just shift that. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But, yeah, I think it's just a fear factor to scare the item people to waste the removal on it when it's not going to pop fucking anything.
There's a good amount of draw with this deck too because he added that Daisy Duck and all the locations. So nice build. I like it a lot. It is very spicy. I like it. Probably would find something else for that. One drop Pete. Got enough songs. It might be worth. I mean, that's a lot of one drops.
Like, maybe find another decent pirate or something. Or just play Benja. Why wouldn't you just play Benja?
Benja?
Yeah, play 2 Benjas, right?
It's only 8. No, I'm sorry. It's 12 uninkables right now, which that's actually pretty.
That's decent.
That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
that's
good. Benja probably would be a better call. You got 1, 2, 3. It might be Benja. I might go Benja. But the shift, just without. I mean, I know Pete's there. Like you said, a fear factor. That's fine. It's a good shift target. It's clear that the goal was to get that Pete out as quickly as possible. You wanted to see it in your opening hand and go from there. Yeah, I would take out that Pete for probably a Benja. Benja would be a good call. Yeah, go. That would be.
He might be
Real
doing
good.
it for the pirates' sake, just to have another body
Sure.
with pirates. But I understand, like, the shift is threatening. But Pete with John Silver in a couple of locations, John Silver having like 4 or 5 resists, that sounds pretty terrifying against most steel decks. There's not much that you can do to even take him out. So I think this is a really strong deck, and it might surprise a lot of people at the 10K if anyone ends up playing this. Yeah, we'll go to the last green steel discard, which seems like we're just talking about green steel the whole way. I'm telling you, this is going to be a big presence in the next 10K for sure. This looks like the standard. This is probably the most standard. Maybe not 4 Pete. I see most people on 3 of the big ones typically, but I think this is the most standard green steel list you can find right here.
Yeah, this looks normal.
Yeah.
I would say kind of the green steel, other than that Pirates deck, was pretty even keel. Like, nothing really popped out at me.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just not a lot of people who run into like multiple
it's
locations
got,
like that.
a 45, 50 card core, and then you just kind of can tech off there.
Yeah. But just your basic green steel, nothing too special about it. It's doing well in the format. I think it's in a good spot. Like I said, I would say it's definitely in the tier like 2 if we're gonna rank them all.
Yeah.
I think it's in that position right now. We can take a look at the what was it? What's the next tournament called?
Lima?
This is
The Home Masters.
Playing Ducks.
Playing Ducks.
Yeah. Playing Ducks, Home Masters.
Should we contact them, make them our sister team in Europe?
Yeah, we need to let them know. We need to let them know.
Are you working on it, Jordan? Because I know we're working with Bennett on this winning list.
Yeah. Me and Bennett, we're in some talks.
This is a 8. We're gonna start at the bottom and go up.
Yeah,
You want to start from the bottom? No, that's no problem.
This is a shark deck.
All right,
Shark
we
deck.
got the Ruby Sapphire. This is just DKP's
Sunset.
list.
With 2 hideaways.
Yeah, with 2 hideaways.
Set 6 deck.
I don't think this is a strong deck. I think this is a strong player. Whoever made top 8 with this, either that or I'm not gonna say his matchups got lucky because you still got to win the matchups. But this is a very scary deck to play in this meta right now. It is not fast enough against the blue steel unless you're slapping 4 manners down immediately. Nowadays, people are running multiple juice. Some people running Gem to take care of them. The little Gem 2-drop. I don't know if it's making it in this meta right now. I'm surprised it made it the top 8. It must be a really good player who played it for sure, in my opinion. I'm a blue-red hater though. So what do y'all think?
Agree, good play. Like, this is a tough deck to play too correctly. You can definitely lose games early on with your ink choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think this is a strong contender right now. I think Shark's at an all-time low.
Absolutely.
With all the peats and all the steel removal that can target Shark, it's not a good place.
Yeah. We might be just Maui Shark haters, but I believe that it's not there. Just like y'all said, it's not the best. Steel song list. All right, all right. This is something new to talk about. I like it. I like the Steel
Aurora.
songs representing. Why are we still playing Robin Hood? That's
Draw.
my hot take. Why are we still
Draw.
playing Robin Hood?
That
Draw,
extra
West
card
two.
on Banish.
Yeah.
Extra card draw, and they're running it basically over Bianca. It's kind of replacing it now.
Why? I don't know. I like.
You get a turn 3 and shift and sing a song.
Yeah, yeah.
And then your opponent inks and plays Sisu 3 and banishes it.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. Like,
I thought this list was really interesting because it didn't have a whole new world.
what?
Oh, it does,
Wait,
it
scroll
does.
down.
I know.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it
Oh,
does.
yeah.
Oh, what one am I on then? Oh,
That's probably the
I'm in
next
the wrong
one.
tournament. I might be on the wrong tournament. Never mind. Okay. Because
All steel songs should run a whole new world.
yeah, that's why
I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, I am on the
If
wrong
this
tournament.
if this deck didn't run Whole New World, it would have been instantly more impressive. The player who got this high,
Yeah, of course, of course.
I'd have definitely been going like, look this guy up.
But
No, that's pretty. I mean, it's pretty standard. I think Robin Hood still has a home. I like it a lot still. If we're thinking that red blue is going to be not even close in the meta, then I don't think there's any worry about Sisu turn 3 coil done. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
turn-
The 6
Yeah.
health is good against
Yeah.
steel.
yeah,
Yep.
sex health is good against steel. I will say that. That's a good call. What about this Bagheera?
Oh, I love it. I was
love
waiting
it.
for somebody to say
I
it.
love it. I think it's a great card. It's good. I mean,
think?
I do.
I mean, it gets the lore. It forces your opponent to awkwardly kill it and take damage, or most blue decks would Hades or let it go it and just not
Sure.
have to worry about it.
Sure,
But
and that's
most other-
fine.
yeah, I mean, you would have to have the answers. Obviously, we're just talking like best play on best play. But it's a bodyguard that quests for 2. I like that. It's got 4 attack. That's cool. That means it could be brawled, which
That means when someone attacks it, it does 6 damage to that attacker. And I think that matters because it does the 2 damage across the board to your opponent. It was probably a tech if you ran into something aggro. The issue with it though is, and I will say this, is that 2 damage to everything is only on your opponent's turn. So it has to be challenged.
yeah, you have to be a winning. It's like a win more.
Yep.
It is a win more card. Like
Yep.
let's just face it. It kind of
Yep.
is. It will solidify a win, I think, especially against like a purple deck that has typically only 3 to 4 health on their characters. But against blue and steel, I don't know.
See, I feel like it's more tech towards the blue steel matchup because you got it out there. It sets up the Along Came Zeus on the Hiram. It smashes every Oswald that's gonna be there. If you have an Oswald out and they're questing fast, because look, they get a Daisy out early on against Sapphire Steel, and you don't see the songs you need early on with the Bell, or you don't see a Bell, and that Daisy gets 2, 4, 6 lore.
Yeah.
By the time they get a Piglet out or the Smee out, and then an Ariel to sing again, to a Whole New World you or something, and then you have to start challenging later turns, and you have to go through a Bagheera first, knowing majority of your stuff on your board is going to be damaged for them to come back with their singers, do 2 damage, let the Storm Rage on, and kill a good amount of stuff. Is just, I think it's a good tech, at least a good one of. Which is what they did here, and I love it.
Would you say this? Sorry, Taylor, but if you're running this card, wouldn't you want to run swords with it? Like, is this deck running swords? Let's scroll down for me.
No, just four
not-
Zeus for home.
Maybe it because the thing about it is that it does the effect of the 2 damage only happens on the opponent's turn.
Right.
So
They're
you
gonna
can-
plan around it and try to stay alive.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah, but if not, then all of a sudden you're keeping a 2-quester on the board and a bodyguard on the board the entire time. You have to answer it. I really, really like it. I think it's a very good card. I think we're going to start seeing more of it soon.
You might see more of it if green steel becomes more popular too.
yeah, okay.
Like it might be.
I see it being very good against Greased Steel now that you mention it, Jimmy. Like, yeah, you're right. Especially if you Pete and fourth
Yeah,
him.
the Steel Song.
Yeah, we'll go to the next Steel Song list, which is running pretty much everything with the Bianca build,
Yep.
which has
Bianca,
the
some Final Platinums, and Troubadour.
yeah. I mean, it's just the typical Bianca deck with the allies to cheat out the Bianca and get the Holy World or Zeus or kill your mansion, whatever. Steel Song coming back. Green Steel is going to be a thing. Steel Song will be a thing too. I just know that they eat each other kind of deal. But it's typical Steel Song deck. You know, I think we can go to the next one. And Taylor, you might want to take this one away. You're probably excited to see that one of your players.
I know. Look at this. Look at those beautiful colors. That's just, I mean, there's 1,000 cards in here, but I mean, it's pretty good. This is super heavy tech in this deck. 1 Bell. Glad to see the Queen of Hearts here. Just a ton of draw. I mean, just all he wanted to do was draw. There are, I think when I counted, I think there was 13 cards that were drawn. That might be wrong. Let's see, 7, 9. I'm wrong. 12. 12. 14,
22?
18, 22, including the location. Because there's 2 library and 2 castle that involve a draw. Oh wait, I'm sorry, it's 25 because I forgot.
Yeah, count that.
Yeah. So almost half the deck has some ability of draw. That's great. I never in my life thought I was going to say this, but I think it's too much draw. You're going to go through half your deck, and if he ever got matched up with any of these whole new world decks, any of these Steel Song decks, it's going to be over quick. That's everything. You're going to be using that May ability a lot. I would keep them in the deck. Obviously, it did very, very well. I don't know if I've been seeing Bell. It popped up for a moment in the last set. Again, I've been seeing it pop up again. I think people are trying to really get rid of Oswald's with it. They're trying to make the Queen of Hearts work with it by just moving damage to her. There's quite a few things. I just don't know if it works as well anymore. It lives. It's a good 4/4 quest for 2 character. There's no shift target for it in this deck. Really, really surprising only to see 2 brawls in this deck as well, and the 2 Tremaine. It's a lot. I would sacrifice a good bit of this draw for some more removal. 1 set 7 card, which was Queen of Hearts. It did well. It did very, very well. Probably needed a little bit more removal, particularly like Tremaines or BKUs or something. No, yeah, they did. Yeah.
All right, Jordan. What's your take on that? What's your take on that? You don't think?
I played no brawls, no Elsas.
Yeah, there we go. Exactly. Yeah. Nothing that'll get the Elsa out. No brawls. What else do we not have? No genies.
Already cut that too. No, keep.
Let's face it. This guy probably played against the guy who went and. It's a possibility that they might have. I don't know how they're doing these standings on how they're listing these things, but it's a possibility that he played the person who was in first, and he's probably saying the same thing that you're saying, Jordan. Yeah, you don't need those brawls or else's, right? You need less, right? More draw.
Yeah. More draw. More draw.
It's a purple red.
It's a good purple deck. Yeah, it
And
does what
in
Purple's supposed to do.
top 8. That's what
Yep.
we want to see. We want to see a good diverse meta. We can move on to the next Kiwi Birds, Cogsworth, and Friends, whichever you want to call it. Like we always say, we don't want to give no credit to Harlan Sweet, but he's the one who created it. Kiwi Birds, it is. Yeah, he's playing Hook. This is a version that I like, and I think that people are moving more towards and getting away from the Doc build and playing Grandma. I like this build a lot. I like the crabs at 4. Maybe not so much. Maybe 2, 3, but everything else I really like. Playing the Zeus for the counter for the mirror. Playing the Benja for the mirror also. I like the hook. The hook's there, ready to take out that bell. That's either going to quest they don't have the song, or if it'll create a standoff between you and the bell. Losing a 3 for a 1's not typically your best play. You don't want to deal with that. So I think he made a really good meta call with hook here. Other than that, typical Kiwi Birds. It's going to be in this meta a lot. It's the new Diggy Diggy, in my opinion. It just plays mana, and we don't do damage. We just party it up in the mana. We can get lore. But we'll go to the next one, which is another Kiwi Birds. Like I said, this is going to be a very big deck in this format because it's so consistent and just overall great. This is the guy, this guy is actually running 2 Tomatoas, like I said. I think this is a good number. He's playing to Let It Go to be safe. I think the Let It Go is just as good as the Zeus. I guess he's not scared of the any other locations because the Zeus would help with the locations and such like that. But the only difference he's running is 2 Simbas instead of the Mulans, instead of the hooks also. I don't really get it. If Belle's going to hit your 2-drop, typically she's going to do 2 damage no matter what. So I would rather have the 2-1 out. But this guy had a different idea. Typical list.
Running Alice and Doc versus Benja and Grandma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No Grandma. I kind of like the Grandma. Doc might be a little bit better, more consistent, helpful with strength. I don't know.
One of the things about the previous deck was I was looking at it before we switched. I think it only has 8 uninkables, and this is at 15. So and that's
Yes.
definitely it was. Yeah. That's definitely. I just thought my eyes were losing it for a second. I definitely would play the Mulan over just for the more damage. I mean, this obviously survives, but they're both out no matter what.
Yeah.
If we're gonna get to the point where we're saying, well, something survives Tinkerbell, we've gone too far.
Right. This is a 1-drop.
Yeah. So just we can move on from that. But I like this. It's got a good amount of draw, and that's important right now. I mean, I think, actually, I'm also seeing. Oh, it only has. I'm sorry, I'm looking at it wrong. It only has 2 Tomatoes. Okay.
Yeah, this is the one with 2. The other one had 4, which I think is a bit much. Again, here we go again. Another Kiwi Birds, 3 of them in a row, and this one.
I'm already over this blue shit.
It's good.
This is ridiculous, bro. I'll be honest with you. I'm happy to see a different color combination in number 1 spot. Like I'm getting vertigo looking at the same 2 colors.
This is the exact same deck as the 4th place person. So
Well, slightly different again. This one's more uninkables with the Alice, but still 4
Yep.
10.
2 more Tomatoas. No docs.
This one has 3 Alices, and I think 1 more Calhoun. Is that correct? It might be.
Same amount of Calhoun. You get 3 Alices instead of 3 Benjas.
Yeah.
And no Lawrence in this
No
one.
Lawrence.
Oh, there's no Lawrence. Okay, yeah.
And 2 more Tomatoas, right? The other one only had 2, huh?
Yeah, the one in
It's
3rd.
gotta
I
be
think.
another difference.
Okay. Let's jump to the real contender here.
Yeah.
it's a real
All
deck.
right.
It's a real deck.
There's one more.
That's what I'm screaming. A real deck.
So this is a beautiful thing right here.
All right.
Look at that.
Well, how did he do it, Jordan? How did he beat all these blue steel decks? How did he do it?
So me and Bennett have talked a little bit before this tournament, before and after, and one of the things we were talking about is this Vanessa, the 2-drop Vanessa, just being really good into the steel, especially the blue steel meta, not being able to get shot by any of the songs with Bell, so you can have a stabilized body, and then using that with your aerial or another 4-drop to be able to sing Under the Sea earlier than you would otherwise.
Yeah.
One of the key things that Bennett likes is the strikes to try to stabilize your draws. He's kind of the innovator with that card in this deck. I prefer just having Crickies.
Crickies. There's a lot of manners.
Yeah, there's a lot of manners, and then I just like Cricky. He thinks he gets away with no Cricky, so
Yeah.
more power to him. I'm a big fan of the Cricky in this deck. I have his matchups here. He did 1-1 against Steel Song, 2-0 against Red Blue, 2-0 Red Blue, 2-0 at Diggy Hole, 2-0 Red Purple, 1-1 Kiwi Birds, 2-1 Amber Steel, 2-0 at Kiwi Birds, and 2-1 at Kiwi Birds to win the tournament.
Wow.
So, looking like a deck that might be favored against Red Blue or Blue Steel.
Yeah, for sure. I don't
especially
know.
the Kiwi Birds version.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kiwi
I was
Birds
gonna
are much easier.
Yeah, I was gonna say the item version. It didn't seem like there was too many representatives in this tournament, or the Oswald version, or just items in general. It seems like a lot of the Europeans like the Kiwi Birds, think it's really good. I know that it originated over there with the player from over there. It's a really good deck. It's very consistent. I think it might be, oh no, Taylor, don't shoot me, the most consistent deck now, over doing purple red. I think purple red was the most consistent, and Kiwi Birds now is pretty. It's just so easy, not easy to play, but easy to win with. If you can, stall out when to know to stall out and not.
Right.
But, I would assume that.
Like riding a bike with training wheels.
Yeah, the Under the Sea deck probably annihilated it, because it just, everything's cheaper than 3 and everything's targetable besides the Alice. So the only card that's really a pain in the butt would be Alice, but it could still get Under the Sea. So it's just like,
The main way that Blue Steel really beats Green Yellow is to like get a lot of lore on board and then just chain Pete's.
yeah,
Pete till you can't Pete no more.
yeah,
Or top deck the removal spell after ripping
true.
it.
Yeah.
For your Diablo, because I've been playtesting a bunch of random Diablo decks, both green yellow, green steel, green blue, and green purple, everything but green red with Diablo, and going Diablo shift on 2 with Ursula or Bare Necessities against a Bell, and you rip their song, and then get rid of that item so that Hiram just can't draw until later. Like, it's backbreaking.
yeah,
But also, they can't do much against Muses and Prince John either.
Yeah.
yeah.
So you can just build it on an unbreakable board that way and just wait out the Pete's. I think in the finals of this tournament that's streamed, Bennett won a game where his opponent went 4 Pete's in a row, and he managed to win after that last Pete. So you need a little bit of luck. The Oswald build is definitely more of a problem for Green Yellow, but the Kiwi Birds version, especially with Crickies, is a different way to attack their aggressive creatures, is definitely favorite, I think, in Green Yellow's favorite.
Yeah.
Would you play more of the Ursula Vanessas?
I played 4.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't particularly like Sirhis right now without a lot of purple representation. That was the main reason to play Sirhis, because he trades in everything with purple. But with the Vanessas, especially with Cricky, like they survive clearing most things. So I don't know.
Yeah,
He likes
okay.
the Sirhis.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Great deck. Great deck. Yep.
Great deck. One of the best, huh?
Set 4 deck, by the way.
Set
Yeah,
4
so
deck.
like,
No
there's
new
literally, I was like,
Yeah, it's literally
look at the name
named
of
no
the-
new cards.
was there anything from set 5 or up? Hold on.
No, set 4.
No.
Set 4 deck.
It's all set for.
It's funny. If you're watching this video, go back to our first video where we make fun of Jordan about playing a set 4 deck, and now a set 4 deck just won a tournament. So like,
Every
dreams,
episode.
dreams are real out here. They're real. Um, let's let's go. What, we have one more tournament to do. Let's
Yeah.
see what it is.
Yeah, the Inking 3K.
Yeah, the 3K. We can talk about that one. That one's pretty big. 64 people. A very interesting top two for sure. We can go through the top 8. We'll start with Turbo Glam.
I want to go through top 8. We're already 45 minutes in.
Yeah, I mean, we could just do top 4 if you want. The top 4 are very interesting. They're interesting enough. Pretty much all these are Oswald items or aggro decks. But first place, or no, you're starting with top 4. We have just a basic blue steel items deck with no Oswald. This is what I'm talking about. I have tested a lot of Oswald, and it's good, and it could be really bad. So can Scrooge. So I think I want to make the deck more consistent, kind of like this. It looks very clean. 4 sales, 4 T-Bows. What are you inking for that much is my question. That's a lot of extra ink cards. I understand you're trying to get the big Tomei as fast as possible, but that's a lot of ink cards for cards that you might need. Got 4th place with it. Must be working. Good blue steel deck. Typical blue steel. No Oswald. Like the Ariel coming back to seal the deal against some of these green steel decks that can't target it. Other than that, looks kind of average, basic. Not average, basic. I like the Stone Dragon. We can go to the next one because it's blue steel.
Third is
No.
green yellow again.
Aggro.
Yeah,
The new
Let
Radiant
the dogs
Tramp.
out.
Moving on.
I'll let you take this one away because this is a discard deck, right? This is not a discard deck.
Aggro.
No, it's
Play from
aggro.
your discard deck. Do you know anything about this deck? Have you played it yet?
Jimmy?
Jimmy.
Sure. Yeah. So basically you just dropping 1 drops. That's all you're doing. Just go. And the best part about this deck is having the Little Johns and the Nalas. You think they're worthless, but they survive strength, and Tramp can pump them and take them out to help you stabilize. And then having the Shift Pegasus and the Dale to help protect. Very good. The Tramp fill in the discard for Lady and Chernabog. And we had talked about this either on the first week or the second week. If Megra could make it in the deck, and they're running Megra. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
It's a big body.
And doesn't it have Ward, right?
No, it's just a 3/6 for 3 that you have to discard when you play it.
Okay. Yeah. It's a very interesting deck. We've seen a little bit of this at our locals. The Chernabog is extremely scary, especially if they can get it out like turn 4 or something like that. It gets lore extremely quick. These blue decks don't have as much removal these days. It's more about kind of swinging for game. Unless they're playing the Kiwi Birds version, then I would assume the Kiwi probably does well into this. But very interesting aggro yellow-green deck. I like it. I think it needs a place in this meta, and we need aggro. We need some type of real aggro in this meta to put the fear into red-blue and keep them away from us. So that's my take on it.
I think the problem with this deck is that it gets hosed by red-blue, but I think it's really good against blue steel.
It is.
I think that's the
it
problem.
annihilates blue steel.
Yeah. Like all the big bodies and stuff, but like the problem is on the reverse end is that Sisu just wipes everything in this deck out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
A red-blue deck will and has annihilated it. This is a great example of why red-purple should, for those listening at home, should stop recommending cutting foxes.
Yeah.
Fox can easily help you clear something against this deck. Like you said, Jimmy, the Little John, the Nala, those 04, who cares? That 4's there. 4's the magic number right now.
The magic number.
Yeah. Yep. And
wasting a Zeus on that thing.
Yeah. I really, really liked the call with the Pegasus in this deck, which will, just giving everything evasive. Great call. Good tech for this. Well done.
All right, let's take a look at that number 2 deck, which is a very surprising color base that I think this guy must have played his ass off. He's playing Bell with 4 popsicles and no Hiram, just popsicles for Bell and draw. I don't know how I feel about it, but this deck looks crazy. It looks like
I,
in the end game
I
you
know a
can
secret.
control.
I know a secret about this deck.
Ooh, let's hear it.
Secret.
Let's hear it. Secret.
So I don't believe I'm mistaken when I say this. I believe it played the third place deck, and it's really helpful to heal your Madam Mim Foxes with the popsicles to allow them to continue to attack things over and over again.
Or your genies too.
Yep, freezing things with Elsa, especially when you're playing 4 of the 5-drop ones and the shift. It stops a lot. This deck halts things from happening. You remove the problems with Hades, and you're putting things back into decks with the Queen that stop Chernobog. So there's
And
just,
items.
Yep. There's I mean always. It's a good amount of draw. There's some ramp in here so you can get ahead to play your larger characters. Cusco, good choice.
I think he's a good
I've been
call.
seeing him pop in and out every once in a while right now. But yeah, being able to move damage around with the bells, freeze things with Elsa's, it's overall a solid deck. It's basically a Blurple control deck at this point, and that can seal a deal sometimes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I've been playtesting a similar version of this. Instead of the 2 queens, I've been running 2 of the dual ink Annas to lock something down with support 2. They've
Yeah,
been really
yep.
good. I wasn't running Cusco, and I was running 1 less Hades to run 2 Tamatoa because I'm running 6 items. I'm running 4 popsicles and 2 croquet mounts to give stuff rush.
Okay.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah, and then I have a reverse on Tipo and Sail because I'd much rather have Sail on 2 than Tipo most of the time. Because I'd rather have the extra card to ink
Yeah.
than to ink from my hand.
The choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you can also lock them. You can Hades lock them. You can just it's pretty solid. It's a lot better than I thought it was going to be when I started testing.
Yeah.
one of the ideas I think is important is one of the main ways to beat Blurple in the past has been to go wide, and I think having bells that you can spam out like in the mid game or early on prevents that from happening. Like you don't have Amber Steel just going super wide and then you can't deal with it. I think the bell is like specific, like it does that sings the friends on turn 2 or
Sing
Thinking
friend.
friends on 2 just feels
Yep,
good.
that's the big deal. Yep.
That's crazy.
but just not dying to aggro so early with Bell, I think, is actually like a huge thing for this deck.
Yeah.
And getting the shift target.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. The shift target.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, you're right. I'm not going to look yet, but this will have trouble against some steel decks, even Steel Song. I can see it happening
That's
because
not so bad.
you're just if they have the Cindy out, and you didn't hit Bell, then you're probably losing those 1-drops. It's only 8 1-drops, not including items, in this build, which is low for a Blurple deck.
Yeah.
Without really knowing what happened there, I'm going to look right now. I know we're about to look at that deck now, and the first place was Steel Song. Yeah, so I have a feeling that's what occurred with it. Probably got hit pretty hard by it. Yep.
And we can go to this last list, which was the winner of the tournament. It's a Steel Song list, and it is not playing the shift line of Robin Hood. It is playing Gaston, which I believe is the real tech there. He's hard to deal with. Can't be brawled. You know, he's been a great card in the past. I still think he's a great card now. Other than that, it's just a Steel Song list with Bianca. They're going to try to hit that turtle or the Smee on 2 to get that Bianca out on 4 after the aerial.
Daisy's an ally.
Yeah, Daisy is she?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my.
Lawrence is an ally.
Yeah, there's a lot of allies, so the
There are.
combos are there. But They're just singing. They're just singing. That's what they're doing. They're singing and killing you stuff and then ripping your hand.
Yep.
You have the location.
Good call with this.
Yeah, adding the 3 locations and then
Yeah.
instead of 4 and running the 1 tax man, the Ganter.
Yep.
Tax man, love it.
Like,
Something, a pattern that we keep seeing is that like all these decks are cheating on mana cost.
mm-hmm.
With Diaga, with Bell, with shifting Diablo, with just finding whatever way or shifting Bell and Blue Steel, playing Scrooge. They're all cheating characters into play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
And then
Lorcana's
everything's
becoming a lot.
running songs too. Like even the
Yeah.
Action Pete deck was running no actions, just running songs.
Yeah,
Because they're so much more powerful.
yeah, like there's no more fair Lorcana. Red purple don't have a spot in this meta.
That's why we're falling behind because we have no way of cheating anything out besides shifting. You know?
Yeah,
We're gonna make it work.
Yeah, we're pretty close. I'm feeling pretty good right now about some things.
Keep
We
cutting
have
brawls.
to have for another episode.
keep cutting brawls.
Yeah,
I ain't cutting no brawls. I'm staying at 4.
insane.
Yeah, when you drop that Keita, brawl whatever's on the field. Drop your Keita. I'm waiting for it.
But a very impressive win with Steel Song being the first time we've seen Steel Song at the top. There's a lot of first timers in these tournaments, these big tournaments, and I think it's a great call. Like, it's great to see that there's a diverse meta that is still winning. It's not just Blue Steel. The first week we saw Blue Steel dominate, but people adapted, and it's pretty easy to, I wouldn't say easy to adapt to, but easy to find little ways to win against Blue Steel, being the big bad guy.
I love it because the more you see stuff like this get tech to Blue Steel techs more to be able to counter that, which then is going to allow Purple Red to squeak right on in and take its place back as the best colors.
I mean, Blue Steel's still at the top. We went through
For now.
24 decks.
For now.
11 of them are Blue Steel.
Yeah.
For now.
There's multiple versions, is which I like.
Yeah.
But there's still Blue Steel in the long run.
What'd you say, Jordan?
Bam popsicle.
Bam pop.
That dude wants so many blue cards banned.
Keep Flaversham. No, keep Flaversham. Bam popsicle.
That's crossing the
on the
line.
ban.
Crossing the line. All right. Well, this leads us into let's talk about what we think is going to dominate the 10K. What do we think the actual percentages of decks that are going to be there? What do we think is going to top? Some of us are going to be there. What do you think? I'll start off with Robbie. What's your expectation of the tournament? What do you think is going to happen here?
I think Purple Red's going to win, and I'm going to win it all.
Oh no!
Robbie.
Look, I'm going over there like Bon Jovi, all right? Living on a prayer, all right? You leave me alone. All right? I got hope. I've been just grinding out like Zan against my kids and playing against like a bunch of 2-year-olds. This deck looks good right now.
What's your record? What is your record now?
I'm like right on like 47% on Lord Canito.
Okay.
That's best of ones, right? Sometimes
Yeah.
you go first, sometimes you go second.
We have a few more days till range is there.
I feel good with what I've created. I've taken a little bit of stuff. Like, I don't talk much, but I look at everything in Lore 20 where Taylor and I'll put in, and I just steal all of their ideas and don't bring anything to the table whatsoever. I think today was the first time.
It's I and Georgie, myself, and then sometimes someone else will join the chat. That's where we are.
Like,
right?
it's literally like they
private
say
chat
everything.
Yeah.
They talk about what they're going to do, and I just go steal their ideas. And today is the first time since I've joined Lore 20, like I want to say in almost a year, that I was like, good job, Taylor, and like didn't say anything else. I said like one thing, and then I was like, never say anything again. I feel good. Look, I don't think Red Pearl. I think you end up unfortunately seeing either a Sapphire Steel or fortunately a Yellow Green, because the more Yellow Green you see, the more Sapphire Steel is gonna have to change. The more Sapphire Steel changes, the better shot Purple Red got of eking back into being an 8-tier deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever, Jordan.
So,
That's what I'm hoping.
What's your expectations of the meta? Do you think it's going to be primarily?
I think you're gonna
blue
see,
steel?
I think you're gonna see like you did last time around when it was 20 something blue steels. You're gonna have around 18, 19 red blue, somewhere around that amount. Then I think you're gonna see a steep drop though. I think steel song's gonna be somewhere around 10.
10,
Purple
11.
steel is gonna be around somewhere around 10. I think you can see green yellow around a good 8 or 9. I think you're gonna have some people who are not used to playing it who are gonna move up on it. There's going to be one red purple by myself alone. But I think other than that, everything's just going to be, I don't want to classify them the meme decks, but everything else after that is just going to be stuff that people are trying to put together, just kind of different spice just to try to see what they can do.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, I haven't decided yet, but I've been cooking up a green red deck, which I know Taylor's going to kill me about. I've been practicing, and I'm a good 51-49% about which deck I'm taking. I'm 51% red purple right now because that's just my tried and true, and I've played that for so long. But there is a green red deck.
I'll allow you to play green red.
There's a green red deck I've been testing out that I like a lot. I like it a lot.
No reason to play Lorcana on hard mode. Just don't play the green red.
Jordan's been doing it since set 4, and we congratulate him.
No, that wasn't hard mode. That's a well thought out deck. Green red ain't it. It ain't it.
All right.
Not it.
Well, Taylor, what do you
Well,
think?
I take it back. I'm 51% running green red now.
There you go. Go for it. Every second I'm going to text you. What do I think? I think Sapphire Steel is still going to dominate. They have the best cards. Even when we're going over the top 8 of 3 tournaments, I think if we're talking about 24 decks, I think 14 of them were a combination of blue and steel or blue and something else. It's just very good. 3 characters is becoming a problem. If it's not a problem already in Lorcana. If they add more to other colors, we might be having a different conversation in a future set. And when I say free, obviously I understand that there's a cost of removing banishing an item or turning 4 of them sideways or something for Scrooge. It's a lot. It is a lot. So I think we're going to see a lot of blue steel. I think it's going to be the vast majority. I'm going as high as 55% of all the decks are going to be something blue steel. I don't think you're going to see many red purple. I don't think you're going to see many blue red. I do think you'll see a lot of purple steel, aggro and non-aggro versions, Doc and Zeus versions, combinations of them. You'll see Kiwi Birds a lot. I know that's blue steel. I think a sleeper in it, though, is going to end up being green steel. I think that there's...
Green steel's here.
Yeah, when I say sleeper, I mean that there's good. I think there's a lot in green. There's a lot, and it's not just discard. They've got evasive packages now. I think like I said earlier when we were looking at one of those decks, the Pegasus idea on really anything for a turn can seal a game. It just can, and I think there's a lot there where they have characters that can quest for a lot as well, and I'm not going to be surprised if I see it.
Yeah. All right, Jimmy, what do you think, man? Do you think there's going to be some aggro winners out here, or you think it's going to be all blue steel?
It's going to be mostly blue steel for sure. Probably 35 to 40%. I don't think it's going to be as high as 50 for blue steel.
In the U.S.?
No, yeah, I still think 35, 40, and then the next 50% is going to be between purple steel, yellow steel, green steel. It's going to be all steel.
Yeah, I feel like it's an all steel meta, hands down. I really do.
You'll see some green yellow in there too.
Yeah, aggro and songs, you think, or do you think there's just going to be more? Both, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, red blue will probably sneak up into there, maybe the 4th most played deck. It could fall away to 5th, just because of all the everybody's gonna be playing steel decks.
Yeah, I agree. Jordan, what you think, man?
Right. I want to put numbers to my words.
Put numbers
I'm going to
them.
say in top 8, 3 blue steel,
Okay.
1 amber steel,
Okay.
1 green steel, 1 green yellow, and 2 red blue. Book it. Book it. That's what we're putting in there.
No love.
Yeah, that's
Well, you're the only one
okay.
that's going to be playing it, Robbie. That's why.
I swear, y'all never gonna shut me up if I make it. Never. I'll make the. I will literally get the top
that's the
8
scary
and
part.
just drop.
That's the scary part.
No, do not drop. Please do not drop. That's good. I wrote it down, Jordan. I want to see what that happens. It sounds. I mean, that's half of it. Blue something more than half. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good call.
Yeah.
I think there is going to be some more red blue than y'all are making it out to be. Well, you're saying 2 in top 8, but I think the percentages are going to be a little bit higher for red blue. I think a lot of them are going to be playing the Sisu coil deck because it does do. It can beat blue steel. It can if it outramps us and starts removing and gets double coil out. I think it really can become like a top deck and actually win. But I think we're going to talk about the next topic, which is our thoughts on the judges at some of these events and some of the calls and some of the lack of judge program that we've had for this long in some of these major tournaments where some of these calls might have been questionable, for sure, questionable. But I'd say, Taylor, if you want to take it away and start your thoughts on what can Lorcana do to improve this judge system, or what needs to be implemented in the judge system.
Yeah, so I know I talked about it last time as well, and I think there's a few things, and I was going to save some of this for the end of it all, but I think one of the major things that we are seeing in Lorcana, and we've talked about it, and other people have brought it up, rightfully so, is that there is a need for a judge program. There needs to be a really strong vetting program for Lorcana. A lot of judges, just from a multitude of different videos I've been watching, have been on teams or are on teams and things of that nature, and that can and will lead to favoritism. If you know who you're judging, you're not going to want to go home and have a bad experience at home. There's a reason that professional sports and other areas don't allow judges from certain areas to ref the games and things of that nature.
Yeah.
I'm gonna really look forward to when they roll it out. I think that there is an immediate need for this. I have come around to not only understand but really believe that they may hold off on a few more tournaments. I know the first time we spoke, I was saying, May might bring us a DLC, or May might be Worlds or something along those lines. I think a judge program comes first at this point, just from different conversations I've had with people over time, and over the last few weeks, excuse me. And for now, that's where I'm gonna kind of leave my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I think you're making great points. I think these judges should not have any affiliation with anyone on the floor playing, period. Just like you said, in professional sports, it's the same thing. We are playing a professional game in a sense. We're playing in a professional level, especially when you're in those rounds 6 and 7, major calls. I've had some weird calls against my opponent, in the Texas DLC, which was very awkward, just so not what I wanted to deal with. But Jimmy, what's your experience and what you think the judge program should be aiming towards, or what should they be implementing in these judge programs?
Yeah, definitely need a judge program. Have a great understanding of the rules so they can make proper rulings, and for sure the potential nepotism, I guess, or
Yeah.
that could happen is a problem. It's more than that too. I'm gonna give two examples from playing Magic. Magic has one of the better judge programs, across TCGs, in the way they do levels and how you climb up the ladder of what you can and can't judge.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But there's still people, and they still make mistakes.
Yeah, everyone's
So-
human.
I had two experiences. My very first major Magic tournament was a Grand Prix, and I played a pro player who was well known, who came from a different country, and this was the last round of the tournament, and we could draw. We both guaranteed top 32 for cash. He was begging me to draw. I said no because I had a chance to make top 16 on tiebreakers, because I had a tiebreaker person in our group who said, yes, if these 3 matches go this way, you can make top 16. So I was like, all right, I'm going to play it out no matter what. And because at the time there was amateur status, so the top 8 amateurs got a Pro Tour invite, and I had a chance to make that too. So we get to the game 3, I win the game. He calls the judge and claims he's at 1. Life total discrepancy. The judge comes over, they talk to him. He has a couple friends come over, they talk to him. The judge agrees with him. But luckily, I had been versed in it from all my other friends who had been on Pro Tours and stuff before. That I called the head judge over and then laid out the facts. And I was like, the first question I'll ask you is, did you mana burn? 'Cause at the time, you could mana burn, which is basically you could do damage to yourself. And so he was like, no. I was like, did the last turn play out like this? He was like, yes. Okay, and then I pulled out my graveyard with all my creatures in it and all the creatures in play, and I was like, can you show me one odd power creature to put you at 1? And he just sat there, and the head judge was like, you win. Done.
Wow.
But
Just based on the math.
Yeah, like the judge, because he knew who he was, assumed he was right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And then the
ridiculous.
second time was another pro player who at the time wasn't really playing competitively, but was getting invites to Pro Tours just because he was famous.
Famous.
Yeah, but this was at a Grand Prix again. We both had the exact same deck reg error. So in Sealed, they give you a sheet of paper and you have to mark down all the cards you have in your pool and then all the ones you play.
Huh?
And so I accidentally marked down, one below than one I was supposed to put in,
Right.
And he did the same thing. Mine was playable because it was an artifact. It was colorless. His was a multicolor card, and it was playable, but it wasn't playable. But he had one card in his deck that made it playable to give him that color mana for 1 turn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? But I got a game loss, and he got a warning, even though it was the exact same error. And then when I talked to the head judge afterwards, I was like, this has been multiple times where pro players have had this happen. I've seen it with other friends too.
Favoritism.
I'm like, this is an issue. And he goes, I know, no comment. And I was like,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, because there's probably people above him telling him,
right.
shut up. Like, I pray that there's no greater mafia above us in the Lorcana scene, but I don't want to say I don't feel like it's not possible.
I mean, I feel like we've already had the nepotism happen to us before.
Yeah.
In
Saving
DLCs.
it for my final thoughts, guys.
Yeah,
we don't need to.
we'll talk.
Yeah.
Look, I know, like, everybody here knows I didn't join the team till a good deal after Atlanta.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it was a good deal before I was, like, officially, like, on, like, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna join. Like, well within the last couple of months. So it was, like, a good 6 months after Atlanta.
For sure.
And when I was playing in Atlanta, it was around, I want to say 7. I still had an opportunity to make it the top cut. And then, as everybody knows, I caught a migraine and I was done. But across from me was another team. Like, so I was sitting here. I had my opponent across from me. And a different team was catacorner to me. And the game had not even started. And this team member had raised his hand, was like, Judge. So, of course, you know me, right? Like, we still shuffling cards, right? I'm like, why are you calling a judge? I haven't even laid your card out. You haven't picked your 7 yet. Like, what can you call a judge over for? So, judge comes over, and this guy, like, they like, his deck, his opponent's deck is still in the middle of his mat.
Yeah.
And he comes up, and the judge is like, what's going on? And this guy from another team goes, he's stacking his deck. He's cheating. And I was like, And the judge was like, okay, well, it's a game loss if you just stack your deck. And like, I looked at the guy across from me. We both kind of were like, we can't let this happen, right? Like, we can't, like, we kind of like, without saying anything, we were both like, this can't happen. And we both turned and were like, hey, they haven't even shuffled yet. Like, they haven't even, like, they were having a conversation. The guy was cutting his deck, but like you can tell just playing around, right? Like, you know, sometimes everybody get their own little ticks, right? Like me, when I got cards in my hand, I'm usually doing like this with it, like just kind of like playing around with a single card. And because that guy had a couple of cards in his hand and we're just shuffling 3 cards in his hand and put them on the top of his deck, he wanted to try to say the guy was stacking his deck.
Stacking.
And I'm like, and I even called the guy. I'm like, y'all, you haven't asked to cut his deck. He hasn't even shuffled. The round hasn't technically even started yet. Like, this is wrong. And the judge was ready to give him a game loss. And I was like,
without even thinking about it, is more
yeah,
so like no evidence, no nothing, just
nothing. And then, like a lot of y'all know, then I end up playing an individual from that team in a draft event. At the end of the year, remember, everybody was trying to get tickets. I just happened to get all the tickets I needed for my Rapunzel and my Cinderella. Y'all were short a couple of. This is how we all like got to know each other.
Yeah.
Right. And I ended up playing someone from that team who then tried to use his deck from a different sealed event. And the only reason we caught him, the only reason we caught him is because he played a turn 3 Enchanted Diablo. And I was like, I remember when you pulled that. And then the guy on the sim was like, yeah, I remember when you pulled it. And when the judge came down, I was like, hey, he has he technically brought a constructed deck to a sealed event.
Yeah, like a constructed
and the judge was just like, wanted us to pick up and reshuffle. And I was like, and I had to fight. And be like, no, the rules state he brought a constructed deck. He brought a deck from a different event over here to a draft event. He should be DQ'd. Because I tried to split with the guy. I was like, hey, look, I only need 4 tickets. It's double tickets. You'll win 16. If you don't mind, just give me 4 and I'll jet. Because I want to get out of here. I don't feel good anyways. Like, I want to leave.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, absolutely not. I'm like, yeah, of course you don't want to leave. You got an Enchanted Diablo in your deck and then a regular Diablo and sealed and draft. You're absolutely going to destroy me.
Yeah.
And I had to fight with that judge. So it's hard for me to look at judges because you may have judges who are friends. But one thing I realized is there are judges that see teams and big team names, and they might not say it, but I know they're thinking, I really don't want to piss them off.
Yeah.
I really don't want to end up on their bad side because they hold a big standing in the community. And I'm not saying every team uses it to their advantage. And, you know, every team is very, like, I don't want to say vile, but just, like, underhanded.
Yeah.
But to sit here and act like there aren't players on those teams who do that and try to do that in secret is just, it's completely, like, you know what happens. It definitely happens.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think, Jordan? Judge program, what do they need to implement, and what do they need to focus on in the future?
What I'll say is I've met some very good and very sharp judges.
Yes.
Absolutely, for sure.
Yes.
But I've also
eyes.
witnessed to multiple times judges being called, the judges actually watching the game and not knowing what is going on in the game.
At all.
I've seen that multiple times at high-end tables, at mid-level tables, all over the field. I've seen that multiple times through all the DLCs last year. I think there's a problem with consistency in judging. I think that would be helped with the judge program if you could put some, like, figure out what people need to know and make sure they know it. Like, make sure that these people are looking at what's going on and not just staring off into space, just casually
on their phone.
Like, I don't know. Even like feature match tables, I've seen like judges just not know what's going on. Obviously, like the DLC, like how does the DLC?
I mean, you've been in the top 8 playing with probably some judges that don't even know how your interactions work with your deck at all. Like at all. So that's at the highest level we're talking right now, folks. Like,
I think
that's crazy.
There needs to be vetting for judges, and there also needs to be tests, and judges need to be able to hold their worth. But
I think they need to be able to, or they should be forced to take a test every season to re-qualify. I believe a lot of the card games do make you do that per season or per like 3 seasons or something like that to refresh their judge, like I guess being able to judge. But I
think it's certain. Once you get to certain levels, though, I think you don't, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah. I will say also, I think judging got better as the DLCs went on.
Oh,
I think
100%.
Atlanta was rough.
Atlanta was super rough.
Atlanta was rough. I think there was definitely problems at each one of them. One thing that that happened, like even in Texas, was round 1 there was like 80 people with a bye.
Yeah.
It ended up being a bye because they didn't go through and
Drop the players
drop
who didn't
the
show.
people that weren't there.
And-
And that was the storms and everything, so people couldn't get there, right? So it was bad. So nevertheless, I am hopeful that things improve. Vetting is going to be my number one thing that I'm going to scream from the rooftops if all of a sudden I see teams promoting judges. Like, hey, our player made the judge program. I mean, just side eye infinitely. And
Yeah.
knowing that ahead of time going into a DLC is going to be something that people have to know, so that if the judge in your area was a judge or was a friend of a team, immediately call another judge. I need to appeal. I mean, I don't even listen. Just wait and just say, we're going to need another judge.
Yeah.
And that's
You
fine.
shouldn't even be allowed. You shouldn't even be allowed.
Well, you
like you
shouldn't be
should,
allowed, but still.
like in the beginning, like when they do in the vetting process, it's not hard to have them disclose, hey, you have any team affiliation, and if you don't disclose it and you get caught having a team affiliation later, like if you were on this team and then drop, but you're friends with those people, like if you were on that team at one point, you don't disclose that, you should be DQ'd from being a judge.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
you don't
not that
disclose
hard.
it, it's fine. I mean, if you do disclose it and you're still a judge,
Yeah.
things can happen, and I think that's what goes into the nepotism that Jimmy's talking about, things of that nature. And I think that's really what it comes down to. There's going to be favoritism in situations, and you as a player have to understand that. And don't feel bad calling a judge. Clarity is fine.
Yeah.
And that's really all that a judge is supposed to be doing. Clearing up a situation and enforcing a penalty if someone is, breaking the rules. Intentionally or not intentionally, by the way. Mistakes can happen, that's fine, you got to live with them. But it's part of the game, and I really hope they kick that off soon. At least the plan for the program, the official plan.
Yeah.
I agree.
I definitely agree that the judging got better, and we should definitely allow for some grace for these judges. Because you have to think about, like, the very first event for Disney Lorcana was 2,000 players, right? They had to get a whole bunch of warm bodies to be able to judge all that. So a lot of these people were coming from other games, learning on the fly, and maybe someone stayed, maybe someone didn't. So it's just the judge program would help with all that and get it partially out of PPG's hand or whoever the tournament organizer is going to be if they continue to be it, and into affiliated with Ravensburger or I guess probably them.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't think of anyone else.
Yeah.
All right. Well, final thoughts. What y'all think about just everything? I mean, okay. Jordan, final thoughts on anything tonight? Anything you want to spit out?
Final thoughts. I think Attack with Diablo is winning the 10K. And I think that
They got a purple Diablo.
Love for judge program to come. We need a judge program. Need good judges. Yep, that's it.
Jimmy?
Sure, yeah. Absolutely love for judge program. Also, I think it's fine if they are affiliated with a team, if they never show any favoritism. Like, there has to be an ability to disclose and know, and then be able to appeal rulings like that and be able to explain, hey, they gave this ruling, it was bad, they're affiliated with the team member that was part of it.
Yeah.
I also agree that Diablo is going to be in the winning deck because I am playing a Diablo deck. I just don't know what color I'm pairing with it.
Man, these fucking guys.
So yeah, I might be playing blue-green. Green steel. green,
play-
yellow, green, purple. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Probably not green, purple.
Robbie,
One of the other three.
final thoughts.
I definitely think a Diablo deck is gonna win. It just may not be the color y'all think it will be. I do want to say this because I've seen this in a lot of Discords, and for somebody who didn't join a competitive team right away and hasn't, this is the first competitive team I've been on in a long time. There are a lot of people who I see ask, like, how do I get involved with a competitive team? Join our Discord.
Yeah,
You can join our team. We take everybody.
yeah.
Like, as long as you're a good person, you stand up person, and you want to come over here, have fun, and help out the community, join our Discord. We will absolutely take you. I promise you, this is arguably one of the most inviting communities I've ever been a part of. Like, and I mean, like Lorcan as a whole, but specifically the Snuggly Duckling. Like I met you guys. I mean, not even a year ago, and here we are a year later. Huge Discord, thanks to the work all y'all did. I did none of that. But like we got a podcast now. We looking at starting, merch soon. We starting to go out to more team events as a team. I'm excited about that. That seems like fun. So if you're just looking for a team to join, go ahead. Look, Jay's gonna put the Discord link below. Hit us up.
Also, they'll be able to scan it with their phone at the end of the episode while they enjoy our nice little tune that we have for everyone. Taylor, I'll go with my final thoughts and then I'll let you go. Final thoughts. Blue Steel's fucking winning it all. Y'all are ridiculous. Y'all are so stupid. Y'all are so freaking dumb.
God, that came out of
I
left
got it
field.
out.
It's gonna be a lot of quacking during that.
I don't care if it's me or Oswald or Kiwi Birds or any of that crap. I think Blue Steel is going to take it all. They do need to get lucky in a sense with some of their matchups. There's a lot of tough matches that they can face. But if you're not luckier than us, we typically win the game. So that's my thoughts on the 10K judge
I
program.
don't want you to lose something.
We need better judges. We need judges that want to make the right call, want to have that the heart in the game. Like they want to be the keepers of the right calls, keep the players wanting to keep playing and stuff like that. When you hear bad calls happening consistently in games, it discourages players to want to join that type of game, especially when games are known for cheaters and stuff like that. Nobody wants to deal with that crap. Everyone just wants to play this game and have some fun. No one's really dying to win this bad, and if you are and you cheat and you get by, bless your soul. If you don't cheat and you play the game and you lose, just have some fun. That's what the game's about. I know it's a competitive game, but it's more about having fun and being relaxed and just meeting good people, meeting new people, and getting better every day. That's the goal. But judges need to get better. We need a program. Ravensburg, get on that shit ASAP. That's all I have to say. Taylor, take it away.
Before I begin,
Disclaimer.
the judges program is definitely needed. It's not what my final thoughts are about, though. I think that's my number one takeaway from this game right now. We need a judge program. We need it to be a true judges program with good judges, like everyone's mentioned here. We also need in the community a level of understanding. Recently, in listening to other podcasts and things of that nature, I think it's important that we, as a community, understand a few things. And the first thing is that not one team is above another. Not one incident that could have happened at DLC or something else is more or less important than another. Recently on a different podcast, some comments were made regarding the Texas DLC and some incidents that occurred there. And that occurred, there was an incident, at least one, that occurred between a member of the Snuggly Duckling and another team. It's unfortunate that the truth about the situation is just not out there because at the time, and still, that other team has more notoriety, more popularity out on social media and things of that nature. And without getting into too many of the details, I just really want to speak to all the different teams that are out there. We are playing a Disney card game. This is not any life or death situations. There's no reason to lie or make up things about situations that have occurred in other places because you feel like you were wronged in some way. The incident that I'm talking about, like I said, happened at the Dallas DLC. I believe it was around round 6 or 7.
6 or 7.
Yep, I could be wrong there, but I don't think I am. And from every story that I've ever heard after leaving that DLC, I've heard a new layer of something that just didn't occur. I think everyone in the community should at least want to foster a positive environment for the game, the players, the people going to DLCs, the kids that are going there. My daughter came with me to the Texas DLC. There's a lot. At no time should anyone be accused of something without certifiable proof, whether that's bullying, some level of bias via a gender, race, whatever it may be. Those things just shouldn't occur. And comments about those things shouldn't be made without all of the facts present, particularly when those impacted by it haven't been able to speak. When reached out, no one responds to what anyone would like to say, particularly from us. And without going to all the detail that I really wanted to, I think that we all just need to do a little bit better about that. There is fair criticism for judges and how things have been run. We've all, in some way, shape, or form, have run into some situations in this game and previous ones, and that's
rather
fine.
be a DLC or at your home with a bad
local
call from a
tournament.
shop owner that knows nothing.
Yeah, exactly. And but if we're going to grow as a community, and we have these competitors, of course we're all competitors. We all want to win, but we don't need to lie. We don't need to make things up. We don't need to accuse things of others because you were unhappy with the way something went, because you just ruined someone else's time. At no point should an entire tournament be held up for over half an hour because of judges and nepotism between teams and judges, which has led us to this discussion. It's been a discussion in our group since July. Quite honestly, I thought it was over until it was brought up on another podcast recently, last week, episode 2 of their podcast, by the way. If you want to go around the 9 or 10 minute mark, if you want to go from there. So I would just like to close with that we want to be all inclusive. We are an inclusive group. We would never allow someone in our group with those values. That's just not who we are. Any side of that, they're Robbie. No, you're not on this level. But any side of that, we would remove them immediately. And if something was brought to our attention, we're in a position now where we're going to take more immediate action than we may have in the past. It should be stated also that our teammate, just for clarity about this, was not disqualified from the DLC. He was given a loss after winning game 1. Game 2 was still going on, which that was the ruling from the head judge, and that's fine. The process that was taken to determine that probably wasn't the fairest, and that's okay. It's been 8 months. Okay, we're all going to move on and live. Like I said, I didn't think it was brought up, but that's just what I'm going to close on. Everybody, just understand that we're not that team. I don't think the team that made these comments are that team. I think they're a good team. But the right information needs to be out there. We cannot spread lies and misinformation about that. It does no good for anyone, ever. So please understand the platform that you have. When you have these podcasts, when you're talking about things as teams and what you represent, because there's no reason to shed a negative light on anyone that's really done nothing wrong, just because you heard something from somebody over a misplay. We simply can't act that way as a community.
Good final words. Final words there, Taylor.
Also, our Discord is free, and it always will be free.
Oh man, but we appreciate everyone coming out and all the support and watching us. We're gonna have some end credits with all of our links and everything that you can do to reach out to us if you have any questions or want to join our Discord or any of that stuff. It'll all be at the end. We appreciate the support, like I said. Final words were crazy. We got some stuff off our chest and we feel good. I feel like we're gonna have a good time at the 10K, y'all. That's gonna be a blast. Rather we win or lose, we're still gonna have some
Chance
fun.
gonna win.
Chance might win it all. But thanks for coming out as always, y'all. And till the next episode, peace, y'all.
Quack quack.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Under the beams, where the shadows dance, a tankard of ale in each eager hand's chance. The snuggly duckling, a haven so bright, with laughter and cards under candlelight. Shuffle the deck, let the fortunes unfold. In the snuggly duckling, their stories retold, with kings and queens and a jokester's cheer. This merry old pub will always hold dear. Rogues and knights with a glimmering eye bet their last coin as the moments fly. The jester hums tunes, the wench taps her toes. A world full of mischief where anything goes. Shuffle the deck, let the fortunes unfold. In the snuggly duckling, their stories retold, with kings and queens and a jokester's cheer. This merry old pub will always hold dear. With a glimmering eye, bet their last coin as the moments fly. The jester hums tunes, the wench taps her toes. A world full of mischief where anything goes. Shuffle the deck, let the fortunes unfold. In the snuggly duckling, their stories retold, with kings and queens and a jokester's cheer. This merry old pub will always hold dear. Pass me the cards and a swig of your brew. Aces to dragons, we're breaking through. The firelight flickers, the stakes run high. This game of the daring neath the darkened sky. The snuggly duckling, where whispers converge, tales of old glories and heroes emerge. The cards hold their secrets, your destiny's fate. A knave could be royal if fortune creates.